What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show. The Blazers get another huge win against the Philadelphia 76ers. Second time in the past week, they've taken care of business against the Sixers. This was a very impressive win. The Sixers playing with their full complement of players. Ben Simmons played in this one. You had, the Blazers without C.J. McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic tonight. We got to watch the TNT broadcast, so we didn't get that pounded into our heads, 10 times this game. But very impressive win. This is, I'm very happy with what the Trailblazers did tonight. It wasn't a perfect game by any means, but you took care of business against the best team in the East at full strength when you're missing key players. You can't complain about that. I didn't expect the Blazers to be able to beat them again. We hear, what's the narrative usually, right? You play a team twice in a row or like twice in the same week, and normally the team that wins the first time is prone to losing the second game, right? Because the team that lost the first game adjusts and whatnot, right? And especially when you're talking about a good team like Philadelphia, it's like we took care of them the first time. I didn't expect us to sweep them, but that's what we did. A huge win for the Blazers, who are now 14-10. This was the hardest game on this 3-game homestand, and they took care of business. They are now 2-0 on this homestand, with another one coming up tomorrow against the Cavs, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
Very winnable game. I mean, honestly, things are looking bright. So, welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will touch on things the team did, and we will probably, get into some huge debate about Melo because Block Boy's feeling feisty. We will have some fun, and glad you guys could make it. Glad you guys are in here. Eric, initial impressions from this game. What do you think?
Just a really solid win. We talk all the time about needing to beat teams that we have more talent on the floor than. And tonight we won a game where you might not have been able to say we had the more talented roster, especially with all our injuries. So it was nice to get a win like that. I know we beat them last week, same scenario, but that was more of a everyone thinks we're going to lose this game, and it was just like a blessing. This was more of our normal game style and plan and stuff like that. So to get this win and to do it on, players getting hot like a Melo, basically won us this game in the fourth quarter. And, it was fun to watch.
Very fun. I mean, they came out hot and they ended hot. They had a little shooting lull in between, but they held firm and stayed close to the Sixers, close enough where they were able to take care of business in the fourth. Shout out Kyle Wilson for the $5 dono. He says, I'll always take a win over a top-tier team, and it's my birthday today, too. 24, baby. Happy birthday, Kyle. Appreciate the donation. Everybody in chat wish Kyle a happy birthday. You guys have free reign to spam happy birthday, Kyle, in the chat. You had Dame struggling tonight. We will touch more on him. He did score 30 points on 21 shots, right? You look at the 6 for 21, not efficient, right? But he got to the line 15 times. So he wasn't as inefficient as he looked. He did struggle with his shot, but still 30 points on 21 shots is pretty decent. Melo does that, and he's the MVP this year. Melo had a huge game, huge in the fourth, got really hot, and was just phenomenal, single-handedly kind of carrying the team offensively in that fourth quarter. Gary Trent Jr. also had a nice game. Enes Kanter was really big on the boards with 7 offensive rebounds. Rodney Hood had a couple impressive drives, and not too impressive as a stat line, but I liked some of the plays he was able to make off the dribble. Derrick Jones Jr. hit a couple threes. Rocco, big stop there late on the last final possession. No Furkan freaking Korkmaz this time, Eric. Thank goodness.
I was worried about that.
Bro, it was like deja vu. It was like 3 seconds left up to they call timeout and have the inbounds. It's like, it was literally exactly the situation we were in against Philadelphia at home last year.
And they didn't really set many picks on that play, but it didn't look like we were going to switch them, which is the absolute worst thing you can do in that scenario. And I I don't understand Dame being on the floor in that scenario. Like, I'm sorry, but he has not been good defensively this year. I don't think he should be on the floor in those late game.
Who would you have put in over him that wasn't named?
I don't know who I would have put in. That's probably a good point. But like, I don't know. It's just there's got to be a time where we let our defensive stoppers do it, and I know we need to be healthier for that to happen. But yeah.
Shout out Chris Stevens for becoming an all-star member. Appreciate it. We will do a full highlights reaction to this game for members only over on our highlights channel. So if you want to get access to our full highlights reaction to this game, become a channel member. Hit the join button below. Appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, overall, man, just a fun game. I really enjoyed watching this game. It was a good high-level game both ways, man, and that's always fun to watch. You know, it's not us playing down to a team that's worse than us. It's us playing up to a team that had the better lineup on the floor than us. You know, a team that was 18-7 coming into tonight. Bro, everybody wants to make injury excuses. This team is still a good roster. It just flat out, in my opinion. Some people argue that this team still has a good roster. You still got Dame, and you still got a number of guys that can carry the team offensively. This is still a top 10 offense, in my opinion. It would be interesting to see like the stats on it, you know, without CJ, without Nurkic, right? This is still a top 10 offense. I mean, you got Carmelo stepping up, playing huge offensively. You got Gary Trent Jr. stepping up, playing huge offensively. Cantor, you know, if we're not making shots, he cleans up a lot of misses. Anthony Simons has had moments. Rodney Hood has had moments. Like, we're still a good offensive team. You play decent defense with this team. It's a good team. And you look at this, I mean, they beat the Sixers without Dame. Of course, the Sixers didn't have Simmons, but Dame is a bigger loss for us. And then they beat the Sixers with Dame, but still without Nurkic and CJ. This is why we weren't making any damn excuses, you know, when they were struggling against bad teams that were far worse than them. That's why I wasn't making excuses, because this team is capable. It's still capable, even with the injuries. It's still capable. This is a deep roster. O'Shea put together a really good roster this past offseason, and this is what my kind of standard is, you know, playing games like this. And, you know, if they lose by a couple points here, I'm probably not being hard on the team at all. You know, I'm happy that they're in the game competitive. I expected them to lose, but they took care of business and won. I just expect them to be playing at this level more consistently despite the injuries. And that's why injuries were never an excuse for me. And honestly, games like this just kind of prove that point. They should have never been an excuse. This team is capable.
Yeah, and so everyone's like, okay, they scored 118 points on a good defense. And like, oh, they must have had really good offensive game plan, right? Our offensive game plan was absolutely awful in the fourth quarter. And we got away with it because Melo hit a bunch of shots. And we did just enough. Gary Trent hit a big three. Dame hit a shot and hit some free throws. Other than that, like, we did nothing on offense most of the fourth quarter. Just stand around, just playing right into the defense that they want to do. And this is what happened when we made it to the Western Conference Finals. We just had guys that step up and made shots during those series. CJ has a huge second half against Denver. And that's why you need these guys. If Stotts is the coach of the team, we can win games like this against a really good team if we have an unreal performance from someone like Melo. The problem is it's not sustainable over a 7-game series usually. So we need some better structure on this team. We need better offensive sets for when because basically they didn't double Dame the whole first quarter. And the minute they did double team Dame, he struggled the whole rest of the game, and we struggled to get good shots when he was in the game. And so I just like to see a more structured offense still. But like, it really helps to have these ISO guys to speak to your personnel. Like, this is why we have to have someone like a Melo, especially when CJ's out, because we don't have a lot of guys who can hit shots like that when our offense is completely bogged down.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we'll never stray off that opinion. Neither of us will. Let me speak to two narratives, all right? Let me just put this out there, all right? Let me speak to two narratives, because we are a channel of narratives. We discuss a lot of narratives that go on out there on Twitter and whatnot. Okay, let's talk the Stotts narrative. Games like this doesn't mean our criticism of him was wrong earlier in the season. Not at all. If anything, it validates it. Because this team should not have been playing as badly as they were a couple of weeks ago. And everybody's throwing out injury excuses here and there. This team should not have been playing that bad. And because the team is playing up to the level they should be playing at, I don't know how that means that, our criticisms weren't legit. You know what I mean? If anything, it showed that this team is capable of more than the people that were defending Stotts were saying, right? Because what's the narrative, right? Oh, Stotts can't do anything. This roster sucks because it's hurt and he doesn't have the players necessary to accomplish things. And then when they have a really good game, then it's, oh, well, look what Stotts did. It's like, no, this roster is good. This roster is capable of this type of stuff. This is the standard, right? So that's the difference of opinion on that. You agree with that? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I completely agree. That's just kind of to what I was saying. And people like Portlandia saying we're overachieving because of Stotts. So Stotts didn't have Melo hit like 3 contested 3-pointers in a row. Like that wasn't anything Stotts did to get him open. He just made tough shots. And I was going to tweet this out, but I was too late before the ball got inbounded. But I was saying I think Melo actually deserves maybe the last shot here, which is weird to say when you have Dame on your team. But I felt like this was kind of a Melo game, so I was glad they actually. I don't know if the play was originally for Dame, and they kind of doubled him.
It was,
and it left Melo open on the cut, and he made a good, hard, decisive cut. And so it was good that the play had an option if Dame was taken out, because a lot of times we just either give it to Dame or we have no idea what to do. So thankfully they had a second option on that play. I don't know if it was just
I don't even think it was drawn up. I think it was spontaneous. Yeah. Like guys, I called it out on Twitter before that final play. I said, all right, who's ready for the play where Dame just runs towards the ball? And then what happened? Dame runs towards the ball, gets face guarded, gets denied, and then Covington last second, I think it was Covington, pops out, catches the ball. Melo made a great cut, right? I don't think that was drawn up. I think that was just, okay, we got to make something happen, and Melo realized his guy had left him to deal with Dame. And that's just Melo being a veteran and recognizing the situation that he should cut there. That's a high IQ play. I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was
usually have the cuts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen that out of a sideline out of bounds. Yeah, so I don't think it was drawn up. But bro, Dame could not get a good shot the whole fourth quarter. And this goes back to our entire point, it'd be nice to use him off the ball more, to have better ball movement, to maybe get him an open shot. He had to shoot such difficult shots in the fourth quarter. I was kind of unhappy with his shot selection, but there was no way he was going to get off a clean look in the whole entire fourth quarter. And that's what always happens in the playoffs against high-level defensive teams, which is what Philadelphia is. Well-coached, high-level defensive teams Dame struggles against in the playoffs because he literally cannot get off a clean look. It has to be a sidestep, falling, fade away, contested corner 3, or pulling up from 30 or whatnot, right? So and then you look at the shots that Melo hits, and it's there's no credit. There's no credit that I'm going to give to Stotts for that, right? Melo's hitting shots, Dame's struggling, he can't get off a clean look, but you have players out there making plays. Players out there making plays.
Bank shot at the shot clock bus.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, man. It's just I don't know. People will demand their praise for Stotts for stuff that he doesn't deserve praise for. That's completely fine. Whatever. It's just you got players out there making plays simply tonight. You have Melo going out there and carrying the team. You had the team getting hot, moving the ball well. I mean, maybe you could give Stotts credit for that, but it's we'll see spurts of ball movement. It's never consistent. So I'm not going to credit Stotts for that until it becomes consistent. Once it becomes consistent, I'll credit Stotts. What's funny is, if it becomes consistent, Portlandia should be complaining about Stotts because they shouldn't be moving the ball, in his opinion, because turnovers are scary.
I mean, he's just totally he's results based when we win, and he's not when we lose. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfectly said. Perfectly
like
said.
Yeah.
Second narrative, Carmelo Anthony, right? Nobody ever said he wasn't capable of this, right? So you have people, like, every time Melo has a performance like this, I have people coming at me saying, see, told you about Melo. And I'm like, you told me what? Did I ever say he wasn't capable of having a 24-point performance on 9 for 15? I never said he wasn't capable of this. Never, ever said he wasn't capable of this. The problem is he doesn't do this consistently enough. If he does this more consistently, my tune on Melo will change. It's literally that simple. If he does this more consistently, he won't be shooting under 40% from the field on the season. It's literally that simple. But here's the thing, man. Blockboy, he's like, it's because you tweet every little thing he does wrong. Blockboy, that's because of Melo stands, man. That's because of the way you guys come at me, the way you guys act, and just how people are about him, how his fan base is about him. That's why I tweet that stuff. 100%. I probably wouldn't be tweeting that stuff if I didn't deal with so much BS and crap from people, man. Like, good old control the narrative and stuff like that, you know?
We don't deserve to root for Melo.
It's like Melo fans have a problem with that, but it's like they bring it upon themselves, because without, them freaking out at every criticism, whether it's justified or not, without them freaking out at every criticism of him, I wouldn't be criticizing him so hard. But you guys make me want to treat him. But here's the thing.
I'm pretty sure I saw a tweet from Tori that said he was 4 for 4 from 3 as well.
Yeah, and then see, they cherry pick the negative stuff and try making an argument. All right, we're gonna break down the game. Just we are a channel of narratives here. Yeah, I tweeted out he's 1 for 5 from 2. Later in the game, I tweeted out he's 4 for 4 from 3. But you see the negative thing, but you don't see the positive thing, right? So then you complain about the negative thing and say I didn't tweet anything, but I did. But also, the reason why I don't get super hyped on Twitter when Melo starts doing good is I know I'll have a bunch of people like you in my comment section saying, see, you're a moron, look at him go. You know what I mean? That type of crap. So, doesn't make me enthusiastic about, getting hype on him on Twitter. Watching this game on this TV behind me, I'm hype as hell, man. I'm just not tweeting it, I'm hype as hell. I'm hype as hell for Melo. Melo's balling out. But I'm not tweeting it. Because I don't want to deal with that. So everything you're complaining about, y'all bring on yourselves. That is that narrative, all right? Just want to get that out of the way because I don't want to discuss the narrative when we discuss Melo's game. When we get into the individual players, I want to discuss what he did on the court instead of the narrative on Twitter and amongst the fan base and whatnot. So just got that out of the way right now. That is end of discussion. Unless you want to add to it, Eric. That's just all I got to say about it.
No, I mean, Melo is on the Blazers. We don't want him to go 3 for 14. That's not anything any of us want. We want to win games, and Melo's not going to get traded. He's not going to get cut. We need to, I think, utilize him better. And obviously, he's capable of hitting tough shots like he did tonight. I've been on this train the entire year, and you mentioned this earlier, that I don't think we do him favors by just posting him up and letting him go to work from 15 feet. I think we could run some plays like that last play where he gets to the free throw line instead of having to just drop a play where we're posting up and he's going to have to hit a turnaround 15-footer. So I feel like we could utilize him better, like we could most of our personnel, and it's just I don't know, tonight we didn't necessarily use him any better. He just hit some tough shots and was bailed us out in a game that we probably would have let slip away if he didn't start catching fire there at the end, or in the fourth quarter. It's tough because he's a Hall of Fame player. He's 12th all time in scoring. The guy can score the basketball. No one's ever saying he can't score or he's. The question is, how can we make him the most efficient player for this team? I still don't think we're using him properly, but I'll take nights like tonight. It's fun to see him catch fire and hit a bunch of threes.
Yeah, he just needs to be efficient enough consistently, right? So that's the thing. That's why one game isn't changing my tune, and that's why one game doesn't disprove anything. I'm looking at his whole entire body of work, not just one game, right? And I feel like a lot of people just kind of choose and pick like one game good or bad and whatnot. I'm looking at his whole body of work, and when you got a guy that's shooting 38% from the field, and he's brought his 3-point percentage back up, but he at one point he's like 36% from the field and 34% from three. For a guy who's like only real potential strength in the NBA at this point is scoring the ball, if he's that inefficient, it's not good. It's just not good. Now, he's started to play better, so if he, like the last 5 games, if he plays like this throughout the season, he's helping the team. And I have a completely different tune on him, right? But I need to see it consistently. And one game doesn't prove anything wrong. And literally all I said, honestly, even if he, shoots 45% from 3 and 1,000% from the field for the rest of the season, it doesn't prove anything I said wrong, because my whole point was, at this point, so far this season, Melo had been bad. And he's starting to pick it back up, and he's starting to, he has a hot stretch, but it's like he had a hot stretch earlier this season, and then he was cold and terrible for a very long stretch there for about 10 games in a row. And now he's on a hot stretch again, right? So for me, it's like he needs to have games like this more consistently. Now, what you think might be able to help that is, it's arguable, it's debatable. Maybe we got to utilize him better, like Eric says. Maybe he has to shoot more threes and less twos. Maybe he has to try and get to the rim more. Maybe he has to try and draw fouls more. Maybe pump fake a few more of those mid-range twos, see if he can get somebody in there, kick out, whatnot, whatever. He needs to figure out how to do this more consistently. If he does this more consistently, completely different tune, because he will be, on average, helping the team. If he has more bad games than good games, he's hurting the team. It's literally that simple for me, and that's what it comes down to.
Yep, I agree. And but like people are saying, like no one's been bashing Melo. Yeah, people have been saying cut Melo, which doesn't make any sense for the Blazers to do.
You haven't heard me say
their cap
that.
Situation.
Yeah.
There's people that are that have been worse than Torrey, believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people are entitled to their opinion, right? I don't go out and like hate on people for saying good things about Melo. I don't go out and hate on people for saying bad things on Melo. Like, stop worrying so much about what other people says. Just be, have your opinion, and don't attack others over theirs, right? That's how I look at things. Let's move on.
Well, I just want to transition into like another reason. I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to do with Melo, but another reason our offense is bailed out is because of our offensive rebounding. And that's something that, yes, you can get away with if you're getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and it's working with Cantor right now, Derrick Jones Jr., players like that who are like tipping balls out and grabbing rebounds, stuff like that. But if we get up against a really solid rebounding team and we have this kind of offense, it's not going to win a championship. It's not going to win in the playoffs. We need to get better shots on our initial shots, in addition to getting some offensive rebounds. But we can't keep shooting this poorly and expect to keep on sustaining this level of play.
Shout out RIP Blazers, $2 dono. It says, can we get Hesso Mellow chant going? I don't know what that means, but appreciate the donation. Shout out Near012 for the $5. He says, ugh, Melo won us the game. Haha. Yeah, man, people really be acting like that's how I am. I'm like, dang it, Melo's hitting shots, at least we win, but dang it, why does Melo have to play well? No, that's not how I am at all, man. It's crazy that people act like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Did you put slow mode on the chat?
So it's randomly been making that a feature. I think it's only a 5-second delay. But I keep like trying to turn it off in the settings, and it like won't turn off. It like reverts back to slow mode. So I can make it 1 second as delay is slow mode. But
I tried to put Westbrook in a timeout earlier, but it wouldn't let me.
Weird. You should be able to. Why were you going to put him in the timeout? What did he do?
He was sarcastically praising Blazers outsiders. So was just like...
Oh. Anyway,
it was a while ago, though.
that cannot go unpunished, especially from one of my mods. That is treason, bro. That's treasonous, Westbrook. And also, Westbrook is saying that, thinking that he'll get banned, like wanting to get banned, man. Like he knows better. That's treasonous. We gotta hold you accountable for that one, man. Yeah. So, what else about the team do you want to talk about? Do you want me to get into some team stats or what?
Yeah, we can do that in a second. I just one thing that would really improve our defense is if it's happened a lot in the first half, like 3 or 4 times where we just didn't pick up ball and they just drive right to the hoop and dunk or lay it in. And that kind of stuff cost us Golden State series for when Draymond was doing that, just grabbing a rebound and driving down the floor and no one picked him up. So we just need to get rid of these little lapses and we can maybe lock in our defense a little tighter. I mean, that's like 6 to 8 points and a half that we gave up. And then on top of that, we have just an absolute meltdown at the end of the second and third quarters, allowing them to score several baskets in a short amount of time, whereas we're like missing shots, taking bad looks, going for 2-for-1s and stuff like that. But
yeah, Chris says, Eric, should we have been picking Simmons up higher then?
No, not necessarily picking him up higher. It's just like, don't just not pick him up at all. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like you just drive right through the middle of our defense and no one would get in front of him. So at least like foul him or take a charge or something.
And I said that on the pregame show, right? You go under those screens, but you don't want to go so far under that you let him build up a head of steam and then he's just slicing through your defense, right? So you want to go under the screens, but you want to stay close enough to not let him build up a head of steam and to stay attached. And we went under, which, like, thank goodness we didn't go over. I would have been pulling my hair out if we were going over on Ben Simmons. Yeah. Like, come on now. But we were letting him build up a head of steam. We were, like, sagging too far off when we were going under, and he was building up a head of steam and getting downhill with momentum, and he's a hard guy to stop once he has momentum. So that was kind of the issue with defending him, and he was able to get into the paint and make a lot happen.
We also, especially when Kanter's guarding Embiid, we switch way too easy on picks, and there was times where we had plenty of time to like fight through, and we would have been fine. They didn't have to switch, but they just auto switched, and then you got a mismatch with Embiid down low, and then you have Kanter trying to guard Simmons up top and stuff like that. So that kind of stuff, I know it's not going to change now, but. It's been 9 years of this where players aren't taught how to properly fight through a screen, and it's actually seems like we're taught to just give up and switch automatically. And it's just really tough to consistently be a top-level defense or improve that much on defense if you're constantly making little mistakes like that. I
will say this, though. I'm seeing some improvement, especially guarding the three-point line. I think we're guarding the three-point line a lot better than we were earlier in the season. So that is positive improvement, and it's starting to seem a little bit consistent. We'll see if we regress next game. Who knows? Against the Cavs, they might hit 20, and we don't guard them on the three-point line. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. But I like what I've seen so far. We're guarding the three-point line better. There's good old ESPN. Got to mute that. There's your ESPN soundbite for the game or for the stream. But here's the thing: like, there's still areas for improvement. Despite us being shorthanded, beating the best team in the East, right? At least they have the best record in the East so far this year. There's still like a lot of things that I see where it's like, we could have done that better. We could have done that better. We could have done that better. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I think this roster is still a good roster. So it's like, just because you beat the Philadelphia 76ers, have a really good win, a really, really good win, doesn't mean that there isn't areas where you can look at and say, okay, we can improve there and focus on those things and improve those things. Because here's the thing. If they tighten up little things like that and then they get healthy, they're going to be dangerous. Right? And that's what you got to do to contend. So that is kind of the mindset, It's not like, it's like, okay, we're happy with the win. 100% happy with the win. Like, no question about it. But there's things we can improve on. And that's not even a bad thing. Constructive criticism. And that's how the team should be looking at it too.
Yeah, I mean, even like I mentioned with Melo, like it's not necessarily that you can be happy at a great game, but if I'm Melo, like I would want to, have games like this more often. So like, how can we make that happen or easier for him to get going and stuff like that? It's like, if this team isn't constantly trying to figure out how to improve, then they're doing something wrong. And that's always been something that I haven't felt like they do, is try to improve on wins. They're just like, oh, we won. Okay, move on to the next one. Let's just do the same thing next game or whatever. But that's why we're so critical, even in a game like this, where there's not a lot of stuff to like be super negative about, but like we're going to point out things that they need to do better if they want to consistently win games like this.
Yep. Huge shout out to Stacy E for the $101 donation. She had to outdo Andrew Miller by a dollar. They're fighting for MVP of chat. She says, so sick of Danny Meringue Pie, Blazers Edge, Rip City Reddit, and every other snowflake fanboy forum that is pro censorship of the on-court play. Can't always catch you live, but when I do, I drink toast German beers. Melo, hit your god dang threes. Dame's turnovers. Meh face. More ball movement. Carry on. Appreciate the dono, and I love reading out your donation messages. They're a lot of fun. Yeah.
How you doing tonight, Stacy?
Hell yeah. Agreed. On all accounts. Appreciate the dono, for sure. That it means a lot to me, everybody that steps up and shows their support. So, yeah. What were we talking about?
I think we were going to get to the box score or something, but
oh, yeah,
real
team
quick,
stats.
What did you think of the jerseys?
I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. All right, they need an alternate court to match it. One.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Two. I don't think it looks a little weird when the other team is wearing red. I feel like. Like, if the other team's wearing red, or, like, I feel like the other team couldn't wear black. Like, it would look better if they were wearing, like, white. You know what I mean? Just the contrast. Just the contrast was a little weird, because you have the Blazers in brown, but, like, every, like, sleeve, leg sleeve, arm sleeve is all red, and then they're wearing red, and then the court's red. It's almost like the jerseys didn't match anything, you know? It's almost like the jerseys didn't match anything. So, I think, I don't know, like, they looked okay. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like they just didn't match anything. Like, get a matching court if you're at home. Like, why don't we do that, man? Why don't we get an alternative court?
Because it's expensive.
So every other team does it. I don't get it.
I know. It's cool when they match the court and everything's matching. But this is why I kind of wanted to see them on the court. They were. The brown didn't really stand out. It almost looked black at times. So I didn't think they were that bad. Yeah, I wouldn't want them to wear them all the time, but, a handful of games this season, I don't think it'll be that bad.
Interesting change of pace, yeah. Shout out Near012 for another $5. He says, if anything, Rocco needs to hit his threes. We got him for 3 and D, but Stacy is MVP right now. Yeah, she is. But you're pretty high up there in my eyes, near zero. Rocco, okay, the 1-3 he hit. Did you notice his release was better? Did you notice that, Eric? When the ball came off his hand, I'm like, oh, I think that's good. That looked so much it looked so much better. Like, he got a clean snap, like his fingers snapped through the ball cleanly instead of like pushing the ball and then snapping through. I don't know how to explain it. Chat. Be honest, did you guys notice that, or is that just me? When he shot that 1-3 he hit. Because when he let it go, I'm like, that's a clean release. That's how he needs to release the ball. He didn't have that like weird little hitch with his shooting hand on release. And like, I wish, could watch the game with people. I would have called that. Like, I literally thought as he shot the ball, oh, that's good. So, yeah, I don't know. If he can fix that, I think he will be a good shooter. Shout out Stacy E, adding on to her total. $5 dono. She says, Blazers jerseys, $5 is all I can muster on this topic. Question, what do you think of the jerseys? Answer, poop. Yeah, I mean, brown's an interesting color choice, to say the least. They should have went with like a dark green, you know? Like a twilight green. If you're representing the trees and whatnot, I don't know.
Although if you have the dark green or any kind of green with the Oregon instead of Portland, then it might be a little too duckish.
No, I mean, no, like a dark green, I don't know. Like, it's not, if something's green, it's not automatically duckish. I know, but just like that.
With the Oregon and the green, that might have been a little too much.
Yeah, it was a different. I get that, but you got like the colors down the sides, and I feel like if you did it like a dark bluish green, you know, it would have been contrasted enough. Here's Andrew Miller stepping up, $50 dono. He says, is there examples of games where the team lost but still played well? It seems like the only alternative is possible where they win but played bad. Not a criticism, just curious. Sorry, no $100 tonight, guys. Keep up the good work. Man, you don't gotta apologize for anything. The dono means a lot. Andrew, appreciate your support, man. Hope you're having a good night, bro. I mean, I feel like a couple times I felt that they played decent and lost, but they've played a lot of bad teams this year. They've had an easy schedule, so I feel like, if anything, that's why it seems like there hasn't been a game where they lost but played well, so to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of an example this year, but last year, there was a game in Milwaukee where Scal had a really good game, and the team played really well. We just, the Bucks were a really good team, and we lost, I think, somewhere between 4 and 8 points. But it was like a well-fought game, and I didn't think we necessarily played bad in that one. It's just sometimes the other team plays good too, and you can't win them all. But for the most part this year, I felt like most of the games we played well in, we've won. Most of the games we've played bad in, we've either had enough talent to overcome it against bad teams, or we lose. So yeah, I think it can go both ways, definitely, for sure. If we're making all the right plays and our defense is really good, but someone's hitting 20-foot step back threes or crazy shots on us, I mean, there's sometimes nothing you can do about it. But for the most part, in the games where we struggle to find the threes, it's been mostly guys shooting wide open threes. Like you said, that's improved a little bit over the last couple weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of an example this year. Definitely ones from previous years for sure, though.
It's a really good question. To be fair, we have more wins than losses, so that could also play a factor in that. We've only lost 10 games. And the thing is, during those 10 games like that we've lost, a lot of them I feel like for maybe a half we've played well, and then we completely went away from that. You know what I mean? And you could look at the first half, we played well, and then we ended up blowing the lead and losing. But it's like, we were playing well because of things we were deciding to do, and then we went away from them, so then we're critical about it, and that's why like the analysis is the way it is, so to say. So that's a really good question. Shout out Dro, $5 dono. Good team win tonight. Did you guys notice better ball movement tonight? Also, I appreciate you guys for streaming after every game. That's real. Appreciate your support, man. I mean, in the first quarter, I thought the ball movement was good. We got clean 3-point looks. Even Dame got a couple clean 3-point looks. I thought our 3-point quality in the first quarter was phenomenal, and that's why we were knocking them down. It got guys going. You had a couple that were maybe contested or tough or off the dribble or whatnot. But overall, I thought during the first quarter, especially, our ball movement looked really good. We had 37 points in that quarter. After that, 23 points in the second and 29 points in the third and fourth quarters, respectively. So I don't know. For stretches, I noticed good ball movement tonight. During the fourth, like, Melo gets hot. During the fourth, the ball movement was honestly pretty bad, but like Melo was hot. He got hot, and kind of, it's hard, man, because it's like when somebody gets hot like that, you almost want to ride the hot hand, but at some point they're probably going to cool off, and he hits 6 shots in a row, and then he like missed his next 3, and at that point you want to see them move the ball a little bit better. So I would have liked to have seen them after Melo kind of cooled off, like try and move the ball a little bit better, maybe use Dame off the ball and get Dame like going, get him an open 3, because that's the thing, Dame only needs to see one shot go through. He might just need an open catch and shoot 3 off of some, action that isn't a defense with 5 guys basically staring at him while he dribbles the ball up top and tries to isolate or go off pick and roll, right? So that's why, it's that's why you want some ball movement or to be able to like throw in some things that could maybe get Dame going off an easy catch and shoot 3 when he's not hitting them off the dribble. And that didn't really happen, and he continued to struggle. So for stretches of this game, I was pleased with the ball movement. For other stretches, I would have liked to have seen more.
Here's my take, right? So I'm okay with like a heat check 3 when you've hit 2 or 3 in a row, right? So like Melo had one tonight, he makes it. Dame, shoots those pretty much every game. But so when you have a guy going off like that, that is the absolute best time to then run a play, because the defense is going to be so focused on stopping that one person and making sure Melo does not get a 4-3 off in a row or whatever, that opens up so many other opportunities for the other 4 players on the court. So like they called a timeout after he hit that third 3. If you just like, okay, Melo, we know you're on fire, but this next play is going to be for Trent or to get Dame going or whatever, and then we'll go right back to you, I promise, or whatever. Like, you could get an easy bucket that way. And this is what happens. Like, so Dame will get on fire, CJ will get on fire, Melo will get on fire, and we just keep going back to them and letting them ISO and see if they can create. Sometimes, like tonight, it works. And we end up winning the game. Sometimes, then they get cold or they start getting double teamed or, they're not open off a pick and roll situation. And we don't do anything to then try to free them up the rest of the game. Like, we didn't really do anything to get Melo going or get him a good shot after that sequence. So, I just wish we'd run a play for Melo. Like, that would be the perfect time to run him off a cross screen in the paint and get him a low post touch or something. And if the defense completely collapses on him, then someone's wide open for 3. So I just wish they would use these hot stretches by some of our players that are good ISO players to generate more ball movement and better opportunities for everyone on the court.
Yep. Shout out to Westbrook dropping a $2 dono bomb. He says, fire emojis, upside down smiley faces, and bombs. We might have just gotten the ads demonetized, but whatever. Drop 200 big ones, 200 big pennies, man. That's huge. Appreciate it, Westbrook. We will now give you one free pass to say something that is ban-worthy, like Dan Meringue is amazing, or Go Blazers Outsiders or whatnot. You have one free pass now. Don't waste it, all right? Yeah. I can't believe I just said that stuff on air, even as a joke. Shout out Dro, $2 dono. Exactly, the player with the hot hand can pass too. And that's the thing, yeah, it's like they draw more attention when they're hot. And you can utilize that, definitely, if you move the ball. Shout out to Dro for that $2 dono. And shout out PS3 Nintendo for $2 dono. He said, matched you bozo with pancakes. Pancakes, oh, bro, honestly, pancakes sounds good right now. Some IHOP pancakes. I wish IHOP was open. That would be a good post-game stop.
Did you mention Leo becoming a member?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Leo. You just got lost in the shuffle. Appreciate you becoming a member, bro. So, yeah, we will drop full highlights reactions to this game for channel members. So definitely consider if you want all the full highlights reactions that we'll end up doing. We created a 3rd channel for that. So, yeah. If you have questions about that, feel free to DM me on Twitter or, comment in chat.
And a shout out to Peace and Love for the $3 dono with the bird giving the thumbs up, I guess. Is what that is.
Is there a specific name for that, like, cartoon?
I don't.
Is that, like, from anything? Is that just, like, YouTube's thing?
I don't know.
We need to create more custom emojis, by the way.
Yeah.
If you guys have suggestions for custom emojis that we could do, like we got like Eric in a mask, we got me in a mask, we got in channel members can use these in chat. We got Chad doing dressed up as a clown, and we got Dame. like on fire. If you guys have suggestions for good custom emojis, feel free to DM me as well.
We need a mellow one or something.
Yeah.
So all you mellow stands can just spam.
I'll create a mellow one and call it Block Boy. Stacy is gonna make me faint. Shout out to she's outdoing herself by a cent. $101.01 donation. I support great content. It's rare. Smash like. Go Blazers. That's you to Lovable JoJo's. Aren't the post game on Comcast says everything you need to know about corporate media and manufacturing consent. You keep it real. You have the support of the people. She doesn't like Danny Pie. appreciate the donation, Stacy. Can't say enough about how appreciative I am of your guys' support. It's kind of surreal. Just the support that you guys give me and give Eric and give this whole platform, and it's a fun community. You guys mean a lot to me, truly do. No, that sounds cliche and all that, but the support means a ton. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, we're nothing if we don't have you guys tuning in. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Real quick, so back to Andrew Miller's question. So I just got brought up the schedule. So we lost by 20 to Utah. I wouldn't say that was a good loss, right? Mm-hmm. We lost by 23 to the Clippers. Got blown out. Not a good loss. We got blown out by the Warriors. Not a good loss. We blew a 20-point lead and lose by 3 to the Bulls at home. Not a good loss. Pacers, we lost by like 24. Not a good loss. Spurs, we lost by 21 at home. Not a good loss. Oklahoma City Thunder and Houston Rockets were up at least 17 in both of those games and came back and lost to inferior opponents. Bucks we got blown out by, and then Knicks we got blown out by. So definitely not this year. I can't say any of those wins are ones where you could say, oh no, we played really good, we just lost to a better team.
I'm waiting for that game.
Yeah,
100% waiting for that game. But yeah, I mean, we do win. We have won close games this year. Portlandia is crediting Stotts. I'm gonna credit. We have clutch players on this team. I'm gonna credit. I think you can credit Olshey as much as Stotts. You got Dame Lillard, one of the clutchest players in the league, and honestly, Melo is really clutch as well. Like, that's something I'll give to Melo, because Melo has been clutch for us, for sure, time and time again, during his tenure in a Blazer uniform.
Yep. And I think, we won by more than 3 points, but in games decided by 3 and less, we're 4-3. So it's not like we're, like, killing it in those games. We're basically average in those games, so.
Yeah. Shout out Andrew Miller for the $5 dono. He concedes. He says, Stacy is a go. I will give up my dono throne. Thanks for going in depth on my question. What's up with the with the Uprise hats? I want to publish Uprise hats at some point. Just the print provider I use for my merch. Also, the website's down right now. Should hopefully have that up soon. Just dealing with some, like, there's a bunch of like account stuff that goes into that's kind of been glitched out and not perfectly set up lately, so can't even publish or put merch up, but do want to do Blazers Uprise hats at some point, but I'd have to go through a different provider, a different, like, platform than what I use for my merch right now, because the only hats that the merch provider I use right now, it has the green underbill, which doesn't really go with anything Blazers wise. You know what I mean? Like red, but like has like the green felt like under the bill.
No, that's lame.
Yeah. So I know it's like why give us more options for this. They have a ton of options for like sweatshirts and whatnot. Like I could put out like Champion sweatshirts. Like they collaborate with Champion brand and whatnot, but like they don't have any hat selection. So send that up. Will be something I need to do before I publish them. But at some point this year, that is the goal, because it'd be cool to have Blazers Uprise hats. And Stacy and Andrew, just because you two are like my top donators. Just hit me up. Just hit me up if you want a hat. I will hook you up with that. And channel members will get a discount. We'll also get a discount on merch. That is one of the perks for being a channel member.
Stacy says Eric's beard game is stronger than Tori's discuss. Well, I have about 17 years on you too. It's my old man beard.
Yeah, I mean he got the grizzly beard.
Advantage there.
I did like shave this up a little bit and trim this up a little bit, but yeah, my hair game. Honestly, not today. Honestly, bro, I am so tired of my hair. I need to gel it more. I am literally gonna gel it more, bro. I know, but it's like this gel's failing me. I would like to say, you know, I have the advantage up here compared to Eric, and he can have the advantage here. I'll take that. Near 012, $5 appreciate it, man. He says, I want a hat. I'll come out with some cool designs. Like, I don't know. I have an idea, like, you know, like the background for our logo on this channel, how it's like kind of like the red, like, design behind the white logo. It'd be cool to do that design, like, maybe clean it up a little bit, but all over a hat, and like a red, but make it look like, I don't know, rose petals or something, like some sort of cool, like, hat design like that, and then throw a white Blazers Uprise logo on it. I'll try and come up with some creative stuff for you guys. So when we get to that point, and I'll hit you guys up for feedback too. PS3 Nintendo $2 donut. Tori, throw me a beanie and I'll make you pancakes. You gonna come over to my house and get the beanie and make me pancakes? Sounds like a plan. Appreciate the dono. PS3 Nintendo. Eric, any team stats jump out at you? I'm gonna literally gel. I don't care. I'm gonna gel my hair more because I'm tired of looking at it flopping on my forehead. I hate that. So just go on like team stats or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna answer Adam Smith's question real quick. He says, "Is anyone completely sweating the idea mid game when Giles is picking up rapid fire fouls? It's like, who else are they gonna put out there? Yeah, then Cancer gets popped in the head and has to go get stitches. We almost didn't have a big man for a while. That's the problem. I wish we would just have an insurance big man right now until Nurkic is back. Just sign someone and have a option in case that happens. But when it comes down to it, Giles hasn't really played a lot anyway. So R.I.P. Blazers with the $2 dono says Trump ruined red hats. Sorry, Tori. R.I.P. Dude, does my hat look like a mega hat? It doesn't.
No, we will not do fine. Like Comic Sans font, okay? So it'll be different enough. Yeah. We will. I'll make it unique, and I'll throw out different colorways out there too, like probably a white hat with a red logo or a white logo, and then like a white hat with a red. Honestly, probably white hat, red logo, red hat, white logo. Black hat,
would be sweet too,
white logo. I don't know. I'll come up with some colorways. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to do once I figure out the platform, because that's the step. So, you want to? I'll just rattle off some team stats. I don't have the graphic, but
Portlandia wants you to talk about turnovers.
We had 8 turnovers today. We shot 43%. We shot 43% from the field compared to their 49%. So, not a great shooting clip from 2. All right, we struggled to finish inside the arc, to make shots inside the arc. That it would be interesting to see what we shoot from 2 as a percentage, because I feel like it's near the bottom in the league. From 3, we're good. We're near the top. And you just look at this tonight. We shot 45% from 3 tonight and 43% from the field. So that means we shot like 41% from 2 and 45% from 3. They shot 22% from 3, 6 for 27. We have done a better job defending three-point line. They still shot 49%, finished better inside the arc. They were 24 for 29 from the free throw line. We were 21 for 23. We've been a really good free throw shooting team so far this year. I'd be curious to see our ranking in that. I need to brush up on some of these stats. Rebounding was pretty equal, 47 to 46 in our favor. We had 15 offensive rebounds to their 11. Enes Kanter had 7 of those. We had 15 assists. They had 20. 8 turnovers, so 15 to 8 assist to turnover ratio there. Points in the paint, they had 50. They're a team that really punishes you in the paint. We had 36. Fouls were pretty even. Both teams' largest lead was 8. That is the team stats from this game. you want to jump into the players?
Yeah, so real quick, I just looked it up. So we're shooting 43.9% on field goals, 48.9 on 2%, or two-point field goal percentage.
Yeah.
And 38.1 on 3-point percentage.
48.9. That's so probably not the
48.9 is ranked 28th in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. And 38 point whatever it was is ranked what? What are we ranked from 3?
We're 10th in 3-point percent. This doesn't include tonight's game, but so 10th going into tonight, 3-point percentage, and 5th in free throw percentage, and near last in 2-point percentage.
Yeah, good free throw percentage. We're probably a good offensive rebounding team with Ennis Cantor as well, so that helps us offensively. You know, there's a bunch of things that go into being a good offensive team. But, like, you just look at that 2-point percentage. If we could be 10th, 15th, our offense would be top 3. You know what I mean? Like, we got to figure out ways to get better, more efficient shots inside the arc, honestly. That should be an area of focus. Shout out to some donos. Stacy E, $2. When the bare minimum is needed, give me a hat. I got you. Just hit me up when we drop it. I'll send one your way. RIP Blazers, $2 dono. Rusty Buckets made a vid respecting the Blazers. That's surprising. Doesn't he normally trash them? I don't know if I'm confusing him with another YouTuber, but appreciate the donos from Stacy and RIP, and then Near Zero 12 dropping another 5, saying, Stacy, you might be the MVP, but I want the hat more than you. We will. I'll be Oprah for you guys. All right. I will go into Oprah mode when we drop them. How about that? That good old meme. Everybody gets a hat. Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm mixing up Rusty Buckets with someone else, Shervins. But let's talk about players. Let's get into individual players here. You got. Let me see. I gotta make this manual. All right, first guy. We're starting off with Carmelo, 24 points, 2 rebounds, 9 for 15 from the field, 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. He started off 1 for 5 inside the arc, and he finished 5 for 6 inside the arc. He started off 1 for 5 and finished. No, he finished. Wait.
He was 4 for.
He was 4 overall. He was 4 for. Yeah, I can't do math. I literally can't.
It was math. 3 for his last 5.
3 for his last 5. 4 for 10 inside the arc. Still, 40% inside the arc, not necessarily good, but he knocked down some threes, and he got hot. He started off struggling the first half. He struggled the second half. He was phenomenal. Played decent defense by his standards. Had maybe his best shot contest of the season on a corner 3 from, I think it was Korkmaz. I think Covington kind of blew by him, and he pump faked and dribbled to the side, and then Melo sprinted out there, got a good contest on that 3. That was maybe his best contest of the season. I don't know if you guys know which play I'm talking about, but
yep.
Overall, really helped this team. Without him, we do not win this game whatsoever. So huge props to Melo.
Great game. Yeah, he won us the game in the fourth quarter when our offense could not do anything, and it's still cool to see a guy like Melo have games like tonight,
especially on national TV, and hearing national TV announcers get hyped for him. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I agree with that. It's you got a future Hall of Famer on your team putting in buckets. It's cool. Blockboy says he outscored the Sixers bench by himself. Yeah, we saw that stat late in that fourth quarter before Melo's final 2 points to win the game. He knocked down 2 free throws. He's been a phenomenal free throw shooter this year. For his career, he's only let me find it here. For his career, he is an 81% free throw shooter, but his year in OKC only shot 67%. During his 10 games in Houston, it was only 10 games, so he shot 68%. But then last year for us, he was 85%. This year, he's been shooting free throws at an 86% clip. That is very efficient. So if he can get to the line more, it's a very efficient play for him. And knock down those 2 clutch free throws, those go-ahead free throws to basically secure the win outside of Rocco stepping up on that final defensive possession.
Yeah, and it was... I was pretty confident he was going to make those free throws. So that's one of the guys, other than Dame, that even more so than CJ with his struggles at the free throw line, pretty confident that Melo will get the job done if he gets to the line. And that's what I was saying last time. Maybe that's a way to increase his efficiency is maybe try to draw fouls a little more often.
Yep. Shout out Wayne Lavera for becoming an all-star member. Welcome to the club. And shout out Stacy for another dono, $5. She says, Dame turnovers and decision-making this season has been cringy more often than not, only overshadowed by mellow ISOs and lame three-point percentage. I need consistency, right? And Dame, he's... Let me look this up. I'm curious to see if he's turning over the ball at a higher rate.
So turnovers per game, it's 3 this year versus 2.9 last year, so basically the same.
Yeah.
When you look at the advanced, like a turnover percentage, it was 11% of the time last year, 11.4% this year. So it's pretty comparable last year. I mean, slightly up. But.
Yeah, I feel like his turnovers are more like glaring this year, like where it's like, what are you doing, Dame? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas, I don't know, last year was more like, oh, he drove the lane and the ball got stripped and went off his knee type of thing. Whereas, like, he had a couple turnovers in this game where it was... where it's like, what are you seeing, Dame? Like, so I get that notion. And he's had some games this year where he's had some high turnover games. He's had some games this year where he's had no turnovers. He's been a little bit more inconsistent in terms of like ball security, it seems like, this year. So I don't necessarily disagree with Stacy, but as always, I appreciate the donation. I don't know. It's like there's times where he tries to force drives, gets caught, and then like gets stuck trying to pass it. Yeah, just stuff like that. Whereas last year he didn't do that as much. I think that's kind of the biggest difference.
And we've talked about this before, but Cantor isn't quite as good at receiving those passes that Nurk and Whiteside are in the lane. He's more of a just shoot it, I'll go up and get the rebound type of thing. He is missing those kind of dump-off passes. I mean, Cantor does it sometimes, but I don't think he's quite as good as Whiteside once he gets the ball in the middle of the paint at finishing either.
Yep, agree with that.
And then also, just for the record, like 11% turnover percentage is actually like really good for someone who has the ball in his hands as much as Dame. We have a lot of guys on this team that have a really low turnover percentage. So, yeah, it kind of stands out, but like, you mentioned we have 8 turnovers on the whole game tonight, so It's not like it's like killing us or would have been the reason we lost this game.
Here's the thing. We don't turn over the ball much, so it's almost like more glaring when we do turn over the ball, you know what I mean? Compared to like other teams that are more loose with the ball than we are. So yeah, I always want him to do the best job of taking care of the ball. You never want turnovers. I agree on that aspect. Tonight Dame shot 6 for 21 from the field, but he got to the line 15 times and made 14 free throws, right? So 14 free throws, out of 15. That equals that to me, okay, that basically is like going 7 for 7 from 2. Right? Because that's basically 7 times you got to the free throw line, or 7 plays where you got fouled and got to the free throw line, and you're cashing in your free throws. So just hypothetically, it's like he went 13 for 28 tonight, in my mind, which is almost 50% from the field, and he shot 4 for 11 from 3, which isn't too bad, He you look at 6 for 21, it looks bad, but a number of plays by forcing the issue, he got to the free throw line. So that's where, looking at how many points he scored compared to field goals comes in. 30 points on 21 field goals doesn't look anywhere near as bad as just looking at the 6 for 21. In my opinion.
Yep, I don't know what that would equate to, like true shooting percentage wise, but
that's why I like true shooting percentage. Yeah.
If you look at points per shot, which is also a good stat, I mean decent. That's like almost 1.5 points per shot. So can't complain there. Even though he took some really bad shots at times in this game. Shot selection was bad. I think that's, once again, because we rely on him to make those shots, and if he doesn't, we need someone to bail us out like Melo did tonight, or we need him to catch fire, so he's got to keep shooting. And that's the problem is we don't generate good shots for any of our main players. Sure, like our secondary players get good shots off of the action of our star players, But yeah, it's just he had that time in the I think it was the second quarter when no, it was the third quarter when he missed it. He took a three like too early for the 2-for-1, and then he missed another three, and they scored on both times on the other end. Stuff like that. I understand like the philosophy of a 2-for-1, but like he took some bad threes tonight. But at the same time, he normally hits them and saves us a lot of games. So yeah, it's definitely when he's getting to the line and scoring. Like I mean, if he would have had like 18 points on 21 shots, then that would have been terrible. But yeah, 30 points still, when you're struggling that bad from the field, is still pretty good.
Yeah, Block Boy says this is hilarious. Do you want to compare this to Melo, or what? Because Melo, since the new year, has not shot more than 5 free throws in a game. If Melo has a game that's he's 6 for 21 but scores 30 points, I'll be saying the same thing. If he gets to the free throw line 15 times and knocks down 14 of them, that's the thing is people just look at field goals and what he shot from the field and doesn't take into account free throws. The problem is Melo doesn't get to the free throw line anywhere near as much as Dame, you know. So that's why Dame is a more efficient player, because getting to the free throw line when you're that good of a free throw shooter is the most efficient play there is. You know, you're getting, if you shoot 90%, you're getting 1.8 points per possession. I don't know. I'm not going to get all nerdy with the math on you, but that is the. I can't even do the math, but that's a very, if you can get 1.8 points per possession, that's very, very efficient. So getting to the free throw line is an underrated skill, and Dame has gotten better and better at that. Shout out Stacy E. $11.11 donation. She says, Terry Stotts is the best coach in the NBA. Also, Danny Meringue Pie is the best Blazer insider ever. Also, I just threw up in my mouth a little. Go Blazers. Stacy, I like your humor, and I appreciate you bringing that humor to the chat. It's fun having you in here, and your donations mean a lot. Shout out Andrew Miller, $5 dono. He says, I gotta shout out Gary's consistency since he's been starting. He's a short three, and Gary Trent Jr. will use that donation to segue into Gary Trent Jr. Appreciate the dono, Andrew. He phenomenal from three tonight. Was 2 for 5 inside the arc. Still, not efficient inside the arc, but he's a 3-point sniper, right? 19 points, stepped up big, started off hot, 3 for 3, I believe, if I recall correctly, to start the game from 3, which is just like the game before. So he's had a couple of hot starts and helped this team get off to good starts. This team was really struggling to get off to good starts earlier this season. That's not really the case right now. They've gotten off to really good starts, and they did that in this game, due in part to Gary Trent Jr. starting the game hot from 3. He's stepped up and played huge. Without CJ, when he's starting, he's averaging like 19 points per game and shooting like 45% from 3, which is really, really good. His defense has been more questionable this year. I would like to see him get back to what he was doing in the bubble with that. But overall, been very pleased with what Gary Trent Jr. has done. He had a great game tonight.
Yeah, and another player I'd like to see him maybe on a night when he shoots 5 for 7 from 3, maybe get him a couple more of those so we can, try to get some more shots when you have someone shooting that good. It's like I'll say the same thing about Philadelphia tonight. They don't run enough action for Curry to get shots. The same thing that happened when he was here. But that guy's shooting 50% from both the 2-point and 3-point line. Like, you got to get him some shots, man. And, so, when Trent's cooking, man, you got to get him open. And he's not as good when he tries to isolate and break down a defense. So, I feel like he's the type of player that, if we used him like a JJ Redick coming off picks and getting open that way, it could unlock even more shooting potential out of his game.
Agreed. Trevin said Dame's true shooting percentage tonight was 54.35%. So that's slight.
Which isn't great, but when you look at 6 for 21.
Yeah, that's slightly below average. 6 for 21 looks terrible efficiency-wise. Dame was only slightly below average. That's why I love true shooting percentage. I think it's the best measure for efficiency there is. Can we afford to keep GT? He's going to get paid. I don't know. That's just a tough conversation. I don't know how much he's going to get paid, and I don't know what our roster will even look like after the trade deadline. We might make a move. Shoot, I mean, we might look to trade Gary Trent Jr. thinking that we won't want to pay him maybe $20 million a year to come off the bench. I don't know. He's going to get it. He's going to get paid though. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
And for the record, we have the rights to pay him whatever we want, and we can match any offers for him. So it's not a matter of there's a certain number we can't afford to keep him if he goes past. I mean, yes, realistically, we can't give him a max contract or something when he's our third guard. So hopefully he gets offers in that $15 million range, and it's not even a question. But I think, I mean, he's only 21 years old, maybe close to turning 22. You got to keep him, I think, with how big his upside is and how much he spaces the floor.
Yeah, you can't lose him for nothing. You can't lose him for nothing. You know, if you don't want to pay him that much, maybe look to trade him. You know, you don't want to trade him, but I mean, financially, it is going to be a little weird to have three guards making a combined $100 million a year. You know, I wish he was taller and I wish he was 6'7" instead of 6'5". You know what I mean? Because he's perfect as the three. Would be a perfect three. He's just undersized, and it's not necessarily the best fit when you have two undersized guards. So it's a weird situation. You know, I like how good he's become considering he was a second round pick. It's just. It's a good problem to have. It's just going to be interesting to see how they sort it out once his free agency comes up this next offseason.
And I will say it's the same thing for Zach, too. Where he's in the exact same situation where we can match any offers for him. But both Trent and Zach, if we're not going to re-sign him, we don't want to pull like a Kings, what they did with Bogdanovich, and basically just let the Hawks have him and not get any compensation for him. So, I mean, this is maybe a scenario, you guys who are loyal OGs know I hate the word sign and trade, but Gary Trent might be one of the few guys who is like a sign and tradable player next offseason if we choose not to keep him. But, overall, I think, I mean, I don't see Olshey wanting to let go of someone he drafted like that who blossomed and is playing this well this season. I mean, it's one thing when it's like the Pat Connaughtons or Jake Laymans who are kind of like fringe rotational type players.
A dime a dozen, so to say.
But like Gary Trent, I mean, he's like a bona fide maybe even starting level player in the future. So I don't think he'd want to give him up that easy.
In peace and love, I disagree. I don't think he'll suck playing for another coach like Crabbe. He and Crabbe are not similar at all to me. Gary Trent Jr. is a legitimate 3-point sniper. Alan Crabbe had an outlier season. Pretty much that's basically all it was. And Gary Trent Jr. Is better handling the ball, better as a slasher than Alan Crabbe was, better defensively. He is, and he's. I think he might be younger than Alan Crabbe was when Alan Crabbe got drafted, because Alan Crabbe was a multi-year college guy, so at the University of Cal. So I don't think they're similar.
We have a lot of Zach haters in here.
Do we? Man,
Zach can leave. I don't care. Don't keep Zach.
Why would you want to lose Zach for nothing? You can keep a role player, a good
Zach,
role player for maybe $5 million. You 100% keep him, 1,000% keep him. But that is conversation for another stream probably.
Yep. Don't sleep on Zach though. That's all I'll say.
Yep. Next guy we got Enes Kanter. 10 points, 14 rebounds, 7 offensively, 2 assists, 5 for 12 from the field. Was a menace on the glass. Gave Embiid fits. For the second game in a row, for the second matchup in a row between those two, he kind of dominated Kanter, or he kind of dominated Embiid on the offensive glass. So huge game from him. Not huge game, a huge rebounding game from him. Scoring wise, 5 for 12. He's been more efficient this year. He's been one of the most efficient bigs in the league. Just another Enes Kanter game. I mean, I feel like every time we talk about Enes Kanter, it's like another Enes Kanter game. That's pretty much all I can say.
Exactly. Had several stitches too. On top of that, glad he's okay from that one.
Yeah, that was brutal, man.
Caught some friendly fire there.
Dude, the refs in that first half were terrible. I'm glad Stas got a technical, bro. Those refs were tripping. Just like my webcam quality was for a second there. It went out of focus. Yeah, so shout out Stacy real quick. This will be fun. $9.11 donation. If Eric is Eeyore, Tori is Pooh. Not Blazer Jersey Pooh, but Winnie the Pooh. Legends. Scary Gary is untradeable. Let's go. Oh man. Thank goodness you guys can't clip YouTube chats and make it seem like I'm just saying like I'm losing my mind. Appreciate it, Stacy. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, I guess you're Eeyore. Eric, Eeyore.
Eeyore. I'm always depressed.
Yeah. Eric's a father, so I'm
not like that, am I?
No. I don't know. Stacy's being good old Stacy, entertaining us. Like always, appreciate the I can't even talk. Appreciate the donation. My goodness, this stream is crazy. Yeah, another Ennis Cantor game. Let's just move on. Like another Ennis Cantor game. Anthony, 11 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3-point line. Hit couple nice shots. He's been consistently okay, which is good by his standards going into the season. I feel like, I don't know. There's nothing in this game that really wowed you. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe something wowed you, but there's nothing that really wowed me. I don't know.
He had a couple of nice drives. There was one 3-pointer he took with like 6 seconds left on the shot clock. That was absolutely horrible. But other than that, I thought
situationally, it's like
game, yeah.
Like he was stuck in the corner and didn't really even have an outlet, so it was kind of just a bad situation to begin with. So, but yeah, I mean, decent game from him. His slashing ability is probably my most. I think he's improved that a lot. He's doing a much better job getting into the paint. Now he just has to improve what he does once he gets into the paint, kicking out, making the right pass, finishing in creative ways, and whatnot. Because once he does that, he will be a very, very solid offensive player. That's kind of just the one area that's lacking a little bit. He can kind of get into the paint now. He needs to get better at doing effective things, doing productive things once he gets into the paint. Yeah.
Yep. I've been pleasantly surprised by Simons this year. Not that I didn't think he had it in him. It's just I feel like he's strung together like some decent games here, and this is going to pay dividends in the future, I think.
Yep. I'd like to see his development. Next guy we got, Derrick Jones Jr. hit a couple threes.
Let's get a couple of donations. PS3 Nintendo says I'm Big Sook. He always says that every stream. I don't know why he says that.
I don't know what that means, but we can call you Big Sook,
No, someone already in Portland has that nickname. I'm not.
I mean, if he's gonna donate to say he's Big Sook, I'll call him Big Sook. I mean, I'll do it for $2. Appreciate the dono, Nintendo. Andrew Miller, $5 donation. Ant's confidence levels high AF.
Yep, it's getting better. You can definitely tell.
Yeah, it's night and day difference compared to last week.
Chris even says I'm the wise owl. That's more like it.
Oh man,
I'm not as grumpy, but
yeah, you can be the owl, man. I forget that show. I'm like getting nostalgia flashbacks from my childhood now. That are barely still in my brain. Derrick Jones Jr. 9 points. 7 rebounds, hit 2 threes. Nice to see him shoot 2 for 5 from 3. Was 1 for 4 inside the arc. Missed another dunk today. That would have been an insane dunk, man. If he just made these dunks, he would have such an insane dunk highlight reel this year. But I feel like he doesn't really have the same highlight reel that he's had in previous years because he's missing these dunks, man. I don't know what it is. He's
trying to like throw down from too high. He's trying to make it like highlight reel dunks. I feel like if he just dunked it versus trying to make it like a poster dunk, I feel like it would be much better. But he's got to stop missing those. It almost cost us the game missing that dunk tonight.
I mean, if he like he jumped from so far away. If he
Yeah.
tried to do some lane, he might have missed it. He might not have gotten a good shot off. That might have been the best decision to try and dunk that, and he just didn't get all the way there because, dude, he jumped off 2 feet from what seemed like the free throw line. It was a little bit further in, but dude, he jumped from so far away, and it's not like he was at a full sprint. Like he took one dribble, jumped from so far away, and almost dunked that. Just couldn't get all the way to the rim because he jumped from so far away. So I want him to start throwing these down, man. I want that highlight reel. And we'll see. There might be a dunk contest at halftime of the All-Star game. It's been rumored. And we'll see if he participates in that. That'd be pretty cool to see a Blazer that's like actually, the defending dunk contest champion and who's a legit threat. That would be fun. It's not going to be any Rudy Fernandez type of stuff.
We've seen a Blazer, or we've seen not a Blazer, but someone win a dunk contest on a lay-in. So I guess maybe he can win one off missing dunks.
I don't know the reference. What is that reference to?
The year, I mean, this is before your time, but Fred Jones won a dunk contest when his final dunk was basically a lay-in. And there's been some some of the Dwight Howard dunks where he throws it into the hoop and it's not actually a dunk.
You know what would be kind of fun is a layup contest. Make the fanciest, craziest looking circus layups.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch that. Shoot, man, these guys could do creative stuff with the ball, man, and I don't know. You can see some interesting stuff from that. That'd be a little something different. That'd be fun to watch. Kyrie would probably win it every year. Because Henry says Kyrie every year found his calling. Yeah, man. That'd be interesting.
Basketball Reference has the amount of dunks and the percentage of field goals attempted as dunks, but they don't have his percentage on dunks.
Yeah, I want to see.
I'd like to see what they are. It's
probably 85%, which high number supposedly, right? But not. You want dunk. You don't want him missing 1 out of every 6 dunks, and it seems like that's about the pace that he's missing dunks right now. But I like that he's trying to put guys on posters. It's fun. It's fun. But he had a solid game. Would like to see him finish a little bit better. But 2 threes. I mean, you're talking about defensive players. You're not expecting them to go out here and consistently have hot shooting nights or anything. You're expecting them to play defense, rebound the ball well. He did that tonight. And then, maybe contribute a little bit offensively. He did that by nailing a couple threes. So solid game from him.
Yeah, I thought he did an okay job on Simmons too defensively. I'd still like to see him cut more instead of spotting up, but at least he made a couple tonight.
Yep. Shout out Dro, $2 dono. He says, I miss Brandon Roy's layup package. I do too, man. Brandon Roy made me fall in love with Blazer basketball, so trust me, I miss Brandon Roy. Just everything about Brandon Roy. Man, he'd probably still be in the league right now, which is crazy. I don't know. How old is he at this point? Is he 35? Brandon Roy age. I'm looking it up.
34?
He's 36. He's 36. He's like Melo's age. So he could still be in the league. And in his game, he would probably still be in the league. So yeah, man, it's sad. Miss Brandon Roy. But appreciate the dono from Dro, the Dro dono. Let's move on and talk about.
Real quick, so Joshua asked why they didn't challenge the foul on Melo at the end, or against Melo that sent him to the line. I think they had used it on a previous play. TNT said they still had their challenge, but according to Casey Holdall, during one of the timeouts, they challenged a play and it was unsuccessful. It was the Derrick Jones one where he made 1 out of 2 free throws.
Yeah. And honestly, they were not going to win that challenge. Even if they had their challenge, it's the game still has a chance to go into overtime. You have a better chance of having a successful challenge if you keep it at some point in the game there than if you use it. Because there was no chance that was going to get overturned. And if you kept it, you would have had a chance to use it in OT if they got there. So even if they had it, I would not have used it there because that was a pretty obvious foul on Tobias Harris. let's talk about Rodney Hood. Had some nice drives tonight. I think it was 0 for 2 from 3. I think that's a typo. Let me look it up. He was indeed 0 for 2 from 3. 4 for 8 inside the arc. Had some nice drives. It was nice to see him score in like a different way, because we've seen the pull-up jumpers. We've seen him knock down some threes. It was nice to see him, like, he had that double crossover on who was it? Was it Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid? I think it was Ben Simmons. He had that double crossover driving left-handed lane. It was nice to see him score attacking the rim and getting to the rim. It was kind of different than how he's been scoring so far this season.
Yeah, I felt like in the second half he was a little like passive on some of his drives. He like didn't want to shoot. There was one he actually ended up shooting anyway, and he made it. So thankfully that went in. But yeah, he still has to shoot better. Same with I'm assuming the person we're going to talk about is next. But yeah, I don't know. Hood was okay tonight. Not horrendous. Didn't like hurt us, but didn't.
You're still just looking for signs of progress with him at this point. Shout out Andrew Miller, another donation, $5 dono. Imagine a world where Dame and Roy play together, if only. It would be so much fun to watch those two guys like play off each other. Yeah, man, that's what dreams are made of right there. I wish. Sure, Wheezy says, any chance the game gets canceled tomorrow because of snow? I don't know why it would be.
I don't think without fans there, I don't see any scenario where it would get canceled as long as Cleveland made it to Portland. The only way I could see is if they couldn't land or something and they had no way to.
I don't see that happening. Like, airports take care of their runways even in snowy conditions. So, yeah, appreciate the dono from Andrew Miller though. Let's move on and talk about Rocco. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 for 5 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Like I said earlier this stream, the 1-3 he made, I thought his release looked a lot better, a lot cleaner. There's like a random guy in here who's like basically ranting at me about how form basically doesn't matter or something, and it's just a bunch of BS to talk about his form or something, which is just confusing. I don't understand that. He's not in here anymore, but yeah, I think honestly the 1-3 he made when he shot it, looking at the release, I was like, that is his best 3. Like I was like, that looks good, and he made it, and I wasn't surprised. Just pay attention, if you could find if you could find on YouTube, there's channels that do this, like his full play highlights, not like his full game highlights where it's just like what he did well. There's probably not going to be any videos like that, but there are channels out there that do like every play from a player that he was like a part of. So every rebound, every assist, every turnover, every steal, every block, every made shot, and every missed shot, and compare his made shot tonight to his missed shots, and look at his shooting figures, look at his shooting hand, and tell me if you see a difference, because I think there is one. Shout out Stacey E, $19.70 donation. 1977.
1977.
Yep. I was gonna get it in there,
Yeah, you got it.
She says, I wish I could catch more live chats. I try harder than Tori tries to manscape that facial Scruffaluffagus. Kidding, LOL, and Z's. Oh, F Danny Meringue Pie. G. Good night. Okay, good night. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. My stuff's cleaner than Eric's, so.
She could say whatever she wants.
She has free reign, and she is utilizing it to the fullest extent, and I honestly appreciate it. I don't even know what to say. I think her whole plan is just to make me speechless, like because I'm getting there. Like this stream is just going to randomly end because I won't know what to say. I'll be just perfectly speechless. But appreciate the donations tonight, Stacy. Yeah, I'm glad you could tune in tonight. Yeah, I don't even see. I'm speechless. She did misspell my name. I'm a little sad about that. Slightly sad, but it's okay. At least she's not calling me meringue pie. Where were we? Rocco. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to say? Go ahead. Help.
Here's what I'll say about Covington. So, you always defend his shooting because of everything else he does on the court, right? And what happens tonight? We need a defensive stop. He's actually guarding Joel Embiid, and he leaves him, seeing that Melo was having trouble getting around the screen, and actually deflects a pass and basically, prevents them from even getting a chance at tying or winning this game. And it's just a little thing like that. He's always getting his hands on passes. It was just a really smart play for him to recognize where that ball was going and to step in there and knock the ball away. And we haven't had a lot of really smart IQ defenders like that. And it's nice to see him make a defensive play to win a game, especially if he's not shooting well. Just do stuff like that.
Yep, 100% agree.
She's felt it right this time.
Perfect. I feel happier now. At least you didn't call me Tori from Tiger. Yeah, Trevin, I agree, man. Yeah, so that wraps up the players. Let's go around the NBA. There was only 4 other games, so that'll be a quick segment. Let's just do that right now. You had Miami beat the Rockets 101-94. Jimmy Butler had a triple-double with 27 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. DeMarcus Cousins poured in 16 for the Rockets. The Celtics beat the Raptors 120-106. Their leading scorer tonight. Guess who their leading scorer was tonight? For those of you who don't know, if you know, don't say. But it's a random name. And
I know, so I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, somebody who knows is gonna say it. But yeah, Shemi Ojeleye was their leading scorer. Funnily enough, they had 24 from him. They had 21 from Kemba. They had 20 from Peyton Pritchard. I know there's a lot of you that'll be happy about that. Jason Tatum only had 17. Jaylen Brown only had 12, but they take care of the Raptors behind the 24 points and 6 rebounds from Shemi Ojeleye. He hit 6 of his 8 threes. So impressive game from him. The Raptors in a loss had 24 from Lowry and 23 from Siakam. Other action around the association, as Michael Holton would say. Pacers beat the Pistons 111-95. That's a backbreaker for Eric. He doubled down on the Pistons. Who else doubled down on the Pacers? I doubled down on the Pacers, and somebody else doubled down on the Pacers. Eric doubled down on the Pistons. Pacers take care of business.
It was Reese.
Yeah. So 26-8-8 from my former Gonzaga Bulldog, Domantas Sabonis. Isaiah Stewart had 17.7 rebounds for the Pistons, and then the Warriors beat the Magic 111-105. I should have taken the Magic in that one, man. Dang, I could have been 5-1.
The Pistons were tied at halftime, and they just got blown out in the second half.
It just fell apart. Yeah, man. You were going to look like a genius if you got that one right.
Yeah.
Too bad, so sad. 40 from Steph in the win for Golden State. He had 40 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 6 turnovers, though. He did struggle in that department. He was 14 for 26 from the field, 10 for 19 from 3. So phenomenal night from him. Andrew Wiggins had 21. For the Magic, Reese's favorite player, Nikola Vucevic, had 25 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, but he was 8 for 23 from the field. What's up with that, Reese? Dwayne Bacon had 20 points. Terrence Ross had 20 points. Al-Farouq Aminu was out. So he made his return against us for a half, and now he's out again. So, right knee rehab. It sucks to see him injured. Mm-hmm. And that was the action around the NBA. Let's look at the standings here. You got... the Blazers are still in 5th, right? The Jazz are leading the conference. The Lakers are a half game back in 2nd. The Jazz are at 20-5, by the way. They've won 9 out of their last 10. I think it's something like 16 out of their last 17 or something crazy like that. The Lakers are in 2nd at half game back. The Clippers are 2.5 games back at 18-8. In 4th place, you got Phoenix, 4.5 games back of the Jazz. They're a game ahead of us. We're in 5th. We are now in 5th place by ourselves. The Spurs are 6th, a half game behind us. The Nuggets and the Warriors are 7th and 8th, tied 6.5 games back. Then you just got a logjam of teams here. the Kings, Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans, Rockets, Thunder. The Thunder are in 14th place, but they're only 4 games behind us. They are 10 and 14. So, logjam of teams. It'll be interesting to see how this sorts itself out. That is what the Western Conference standings picture is looking like as of tonight. So, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I'm just thrilled we got this victory and right back at it tomorrow night. Hopefully we can get the job done and beat this Cavs team that we should win against. But I want them to come out and play like they are not better than them and that they need to focus and do whatever it takes to get a win. And that should lead to an easy victory if they do. But yeah, just build upon this. You've won a couple games in a row. Don't have a letdown game. That's all I'm looking for.
I agree with that. Shout out to all my channel members and shout out to all the people who donated tonight. Stacy, Andrew Miller, Dro, RIP Blazers, Near Zero. I apologize if you donated and I forgot your name off the top of my head. Nintendo dropped a couple. Peace and Love dropped a dono. So shout out to all of you. Appreciate it.
Apple's had a $3 donation that we missed too.
Oh, sorry, Apple's.
Any update on CJ? I think he's 3 or 4 days away from his reevaluation date.
The 16th is when it should be.
He was still in a boot before this game. I don't know if that's just a precaution until his reevaluation or not. But yeah, I'm guessing he'll still be out at least a couple more weeks after his reevaluation date.
Yep, PS3 Nintendo $2 dono says, great donos tonight. Yeah, this sets by far a record for a post-game stream. It like more than doubles the record for donations, and Stacy is a huge reason why, and Andrew and all you guys that shows support tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in too, even if you didn't donate. You guys tuning in, join in chat for these streams and engaging with all of us is what makes this community truly great. I'm starting to lag, so this was the perfect time to start signing off here. The internet is telling me to get off too. Yeah, follow me on Twitter at TwitterJonesYT if you haven't already. Eric is at HoopsJock. The channel is at Blazers Uprise YT. Follow our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live. We stream Mondays and Thursdays. We start between 3:30 and 4 p.m. Pacific time. That's where we do picks against the spread and pick the action for that night. We have a third channel, Blazers Uprise Highlights. We will be posting a full highlights reaction to this game for channel members. So if you're a new channel member, the link to that video I'll post in the community chat tab, and I can set posts in the community tab to only show up for members. So that's how you will get access to that video. So stay tuned for that. I'll tweet out also when I do that, and I'll also announce it in the Discord if you're in there as well. There should be a link in the description for the Discord if you want to join. Other than that, anything I miss plug wise? We're like adding to this, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I feel like I did pretty good. I feel like I got everything.
Yeah, you got it. Just join us tomorrow night after the game.
Yep. We're right back at it again tomorrow, so hopefully we're talking about another win. Hopefully we're talking about the Blazers with a 3-game sweep of their homestand and a 15-10 record. You can also follow my Twitch. I'm starting to Twitch for just I game with some of the communities, so if I'm going to start streaming it, why not? You know, it might be fun to stream. So if you want to follow that, Westbrook just posted the link in the chat. Appreciate it. Y'all get Meringue as a guest soon? Yeah, I wouldn't count on that anytime soon, Henry. But yeah, so that's everything I needed to plug. Thank you guys for tuning in and showing your support tonight. It truly means the world. We'll be right back at it again tomorrow. So hopefully you guys and girls, have a good rest of your night. And we'll see you then. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.